Hey everybody, Denise with Lazy K Mountain Homestead. Well, here we are with the broccoli. I was asked to go ahead and make a video of how to process this. So the first thing you want to do is soak your broccoli in some cold water with some salt, because you want to make sure that you get anything off of that, like bugs or anything, because like I said before, this has been out in the garden and bugs do get on our food, and it's just facts of life. But you want to do that, and I usually soak for about 3 hours or to overnight, but you don't want to maybe go that long if it's like 12 hours or something, because the broccoli can change color and it'll get like kind of a strong smell to it. So 3 hours, 3 to 4 hours for me is what I usually do, but I have seen it in the book, just you can soak it overnight. Just kind of experience, I guess. I dug out my old 1979 Bald Blue Book. It's a little bit different in here than the new one that I have. But the new one says to blanch your broccoli for 3 minutes, which I've been doing for years. This one says scald it for 5 minutes. So even the terms are different. I just thought I'd share that with you. So let me put that over there. I have got water boiling. This is going to be for blanching. Blanching is it's just putting it in there. You're not cooking it all the way. You can also steam it if you want to. You can steam it for 5 minutes, but I like to blanch it. And it kind of just pre-cooks it. And then you're going to let it dry on some paper towels, and then I'm going to show you how I like to freeze it. There's different ways to do it, but this is what I like to do. It makes more sense for us. Okay, this broccoli here has already been in the brine, and you want to look at it and make sure that there are no bugs. And I'm just going to go ahead and put them in there whole. Like I said, you can, in my area and in Virginia too, I don't know if it's like that other places, but we have these little blue butterflies. I won't put that one in there yet. Blue butterflies or moths, and they come and they're the culprits that like to lay the eggs, and the eggs turn into worms, and then they spin these webs all in the broccoli. And I'll tell you what, it is a nightmare to try to get all of that out of there. Let me push these down. You do want it to cover, and bring it back to a boil, and then I'll time it for 3 minutes. So I may go ahead and add some hot water. While we're doing that, I also have my sink full of cold water, and I put ice in it, because once you've blanched it for 3 minutes, you're going to want to put it in your cold water to shock it, and what that does is stops the cooking process. And you know, if you bought broccoli at the store frozen, you'll notice that you still need to cook it, because it was blanched or pre-cooked. And these little leaves here, you want to take them off and put them in your compost, or feed them to your goats or rabbits, whatever you've got. I've got a bunch here. I'll put it in a bowl. But while we're waiting for this to come back up to a boil, and then we'll time it for 3 minutes, I'll be right back. Okay, here we are back. You can see it's at a rolling boil, and I'm timing it for 3 minutes. So when that 3 minutes is up, we're going to go ahead and take it and put it in the water and let it cool, and then we'll start our next step. But I wanted to show you how nice and green that the color changes. It's almost like a bright green. It's so pretty and beautiful. Even if your broccoli has turned a little bit yellow from sitting maybe a day or two, it's going to go ahead and turn back to that pretty bright green. And there's nothing wrong with that. But you do want to make sure when you're inspecting your broccoli after you've had it in a brine and you've rinsed the salt off of it, rinse that salt off, that you want to inspect it for any possibly bad spots or anything, and just cut them away. Now, broccoli also has the stems, and you can buy it in the store just like this. This is really good too. It's very tasty. And The real thick chunks, let me see here, like this, they're not as easily eaten because see how thick they are? But if you get up here to where they kind of split into little branches, that is still very tender, and you can still use that. We do that, and I'll cut those off, and I will go ahead and have them in little sections, and we use those in soups and things like that, and it really brings a good flavor too. Plus you can use it in pasta if you make a broccoli pasta, which I'm going to make. I think I'm going to make for this video too. Got a couple recipes at the end I think you might enjoy. Something different. Okay, so it has been 3 minutes. It was boiling before you guys got to me, or till I got to you, I guess I should say. Okay, so what I'm going to do is go ahead and just bring these out like so. Pop them in there. Pop them in your water. Look how nice and beautiful they are. Oh my gosh. Now, if you did have some bugs, and I want to be real on this, I just want you to know, if you did have some, they would definitely come off in this process, and you just skim them out or change your water, whatever your preference is. But I don't see any, so I'm just going to go ahead and put more broccoli in here. Try to fit them down because you do want them to be covered with water. And I can also add more water. Each time I'm adding hot water too, so it doesn't take that a long time to cool. Well, I was thinking of that cooling. For this to get back up to a boil. Okay, let's go ahead and bring that to a boil, and I'll be back. Okay, we have got our broccoli. This broccoli so far is nice and cool. So what I've got here is some tea towels. You can use paper towels too, whatever you've got. But I think tea towels work a little bit better. I'm just going to set all this broccoli out on here, and I'm going to let it dry off. Yeah, it is a process. I cut mine up in small pieces because that's the way we like to eat it, instead of it being frozen like this. You can freeze it just like this too, but you do want to make sure that your broccoli is dried out. To see all the water that it's holding, you don't want that in there because it can cause freezer burn in your freezer. Even if you use the food saver, which I do, it can still cause that freezer burn, and that makes it taste nasty. And after you've gone through all this trouble to grow it and blanch it and dry it, and dry it and do everything you do, you don't want freezer burn in another month. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and let this dry. It won't take too long, maybe a half hour, and most of the water stays in the florets. So you may want to turn it like this so if they'll stand up and drain. So that is what we're going to do for now, and I'll be back with the next step. Alrighty, we're back. These have dried enough to where there's no water shaking from them. That's what I want. So what I've got done here is I've got my cutting board, and then I've got cookie sheets, and then one cake pan, and I've lined them with freezer paper. You can use paper towels, but freezer paper seems to, it doesn't stick to your frozen stuff like broccoli or strawberries or something like that. It comes off really easy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take each one of these bunches, and I'm going to cut the florets off. And you know, when you're in the store, you buy this in the store, you can buy them just like this. And I'm going to actually cut that one in half. And I'm going to go ahead and fill up my trays with these individually frozen. I'm going to take them out to my big freezers, and I'm going to just lay them on top just like this, uncovered, for probably 2 hours, and that by that time they'll be nice and frozen, And then we'll bring them back in and we will put them in the food saver. Now, here is the stems. That is still really good. This is very tender. It's up to you if you want to use this. This is also very edible. And so you just want to cut that in pieces like I just did and lay that on there too. So that's what we are doing with the broccoli. This is very economical. It will take me, if you guys saw my last video and you saw all that broccoli I picked, it will take me probably most of the day to get that done. Because you do have to go through the process of grinding it and blanching it and all that kind of stuff. But for me, it's worth it. I've been doing this most of my life. Now, if you guys can't grow your broccoli, you can go to the farmer's market and pick some up. It's a little expensive in the stores, I think. Now, if you see something like that, you're going to want to cut that out. So I will just cut that bigger piece and we'll give it to, oh, I got it behind me. Give it to the goats. They love it. Do that one too. Yeah, I don't like those two. I'm really kind of picky when it comes to this. I don't want to freeze something that potentially could spoil. Look how beautiful and green that is. Isn't that beautiful? My goodness. Let's see if I can bring you closer here. There you go. You see what I'm doing. I don't know if many people are in my age group, but I was a kid in the 60s. And it has been hard this week with Brian Wilson passing away. He brought a lot of joy to me as a young kid, and my mother and my uncles. Boy, we lived in Florida at the time, the 60s. And all the beach music and everything you see on TV about the 60s and the, of course it was Vietnam, but I was a little kid and we weren't privy to that. My parents were very strict about us knowing anything about that, which was good. I'm glad that I didn't have to deal with the stress. I didn't think kids needed to know that anyway. I agree with them on that. But anyway, the beach, the music, the lifestyle, that was all real. It was all real. It was idyllic for us. My dad worked at the space program at NASA I think it was Cape Canaveral. It's been many years now. But boy, and my parents were in their 20s. And it was just a fun time. I mean, surfing and dancing, and my friends and I would dance in the garage, and we danced to the Beach Boys, and we danced to the Monkees, all those groups, Spanky and our gang. Oh my gosh, such good memories. It's kind of sad when people that you knew, well, I didn't know him, but you kind of feel like you know music people, stars. They brought a lot of joy in your life. And I know he was older and he passed away, but he was somebody's dad, somebody's grandpa. And he brought a lot of joy to people like me. I messaged my uncles who still live in Florida, and I said, do you remember those days? And they agreed. Those were the best times. Anyways, I wasn't trying to be depressing. I was just saying I've got Beach Boys music and surf music on in the background. It brings me joy. So anyway, this is what I'm doing. I'm filling all my trays. I've got 3 more heads there. And I'm going to fill these all up, put them out in my freezers. And then, I mean, some of these heads are just absolutely massive. What a wonderful harvest we had. Well, listen, I went to the farmer's market yesterday, which was Saturday, and there wasn't any fruit or vegetables. I guess it was just a little early for things, not even squash. We were looking for beets. My beets didn't do very well this year, so I like to pickle beets. What do you guys like to grow? Let me know if I grow any of those things. I'll be glad to share with you how I make things, process things. I try not to do the same kind of videos each year, but it's kind of hard not to, because this is what we do on our homestead. Every year we do this. And every year we love it. It's our life. Wow, look at the green on that. Beautiful. And again, while you're doing this, inspect your vegetable. Make sure that it's no bad spots, and especially no worms or anything like that. Webs. So far, I've been very lucky. I think I got my broccoli before those little devils came out. My dad would say, "Oh, it's just a worm." Wrong. I'm not a real worm eater. I wasn't like John the Baptist and ate locusts and honey, so. And you can actually chop this up if you wanted to be a finer broccoli, or you can leave it whole and let it freeze too. In the Ball Blue Book, they suggest those different ways too. Now, some of these are going to touch. It's okay. It's not like, they can't touch. I'm just trying to put them here so they will freeze separately the best that we can. Okay, I got these 3 trays filled. I'm going to go ahead and take them out to my freezers, and I'll be back as soon as they're ready to go in the food saver. Okay, I have brought my broccoli back from the freezer, and it is pretty hard. So the reason I do this, so they won't stick together. If you put them in right after you kind of let them dry a little bit on your tea towels, they're still going to have enough water in them where they're going to stick together. So that's why I kind of do this. I don't have a flash freezer or anything like some people do. That's a little bit out of my price range, but if you have one, this would be great to do. You could freeze dry them, I'm sure, and then I guess dehydrate them and just reconstitute them if you needed them for that. But I don't know if they'd be rubbery or not, so if you have that, give it a try. Let me know. Okay, so what I'm going to do is use my food saver. And I like to use this because I get all the air out of it, and it also sucks all the water out too if there's any water in here. But if you don't have one of these, you can certainly use freezer bags and just try to get all your air out. Okay, so I've already sealed the one end. And if you guys think that the bags are expensive, try to get them on Amazon. They're generic, but these work really well. So just get down. My puppy's down here. So we like a lot of broccoli, and if you make like broccoli Alfredo or something like that, you're going to need at least a quart full. So that took that was probably one of those big heads. Okay, now we're just going to go ahead and put it in here. I really like this food saver. There we go. Beautiful broccoli. And I always mark on there what it is, the date and everything, so you can remember. So I'm going to finish up the rest of this. Again, I'm thinking I'll probably get 5 bags out of this. And I've got a bunch more broccoli to go. I'm going to be up most of the night doing broccoli, but that's okay. I think sometimes you have to shake this down just a little bit more. There we go. I just like these little gadgets. I think they're so much fun. But like I said, if you don't have one of these, use your freezer bags. But make sure they're freezer bags, not storage bags, because it'll help with not having that freezer burn on there. So I think this one did it right the first time. I'm going to finish this up, and then I'm going to come back on and I'm going to show you guys a recipe. And it is for fresh broccoli, like we picked out of the garden, or you can buy the fresh broccoli from the market. But I am going to have a separate video I'm going to do tomorrow with 2 other recipes for broccoli. I don't have time, or this video would be too long and I'll lose people. They'll be falling asleep. So I hope you guys will stay tuned for that. And this one's going to be quick and easy at the end here. So let me get this done and I'll be right back. Okay, let's do this recipe. This is going to be roasted broccoli, and I've got my oven set on 375. It's not going to be a super crispy roasting, but it's going to be really tasty, and it's a really good snack. And it's pretty healthy too. So what I'm going to do, I've got 2 florets that I picked, and I actually saved these from yesterday because they were the freshest that I have from all those. I got 17 packages, and they're all out in the freezer. So I'm just cutting these in little strips. Not everyone's going to be a strip. Some of them might be a little floret, but that's okay. I'm going to do 2 different types of coating for this. One is going to be a curry with ginger, and then the other is going to be Parmesan with garlic. And if you want to make a dipping sauce for this, I just like regular Greek yogurt. You don't even have to add it, maybe a little lemon or something like that, but you don't have to have like ranch or anything. But if you want to use ranch, that's up to you. These have a lot of flavor with the coating that I'm going to put on them. But it's just, I mean, and if you want to use something like garlic and herb, if you've got different combinations that you'd like to try, this is good. And I will say that you want to be really careful with your salt, because I've made them before where the salt was just a little intense. Okay, I've got them, and I'm kind of making them equal. And I've got my baggies here. This is what I'm going to put my coatings in. So this is curry. Put probably maybe a little less than a tablespoon in there. And then I've got ginger, ground ginger. That's always something yummy. I'm going to put about a teaspoon of that in here. It's so humid in my house right now, it's hard for me to get all these out. There we go, ginger. And you just want a pinch of salt. Now you can either do it this way and coat it, or you can sprinkle your salt on your broccoli. You can also use squash like zucchini or yellow squash. It's a really good snack. All right, I've got that one made up. The next one is going to be Parmesan and garlic, which is very popular around my house. So I'm just going to put probably a teaspoon of garlic powder, not salt, because you can over salt things easy. Pinch of salt, and I mean just a pinch. And then Parmesan, put about maybe a quarter cup of this. There, because I like a lot of Parmesan. Okay. So we've got all those together. Mix them up. Really simple ingredients. Okay, so what we're going to do next, I've got a bowl, and if you've ever had oven roasted potatoes, that's basically what this is. It's oven roasted vegetables. Super easy. You're going to need oil. I usually have olive oil on hand, but I don't have any today, so I'm just going to use some vegetable oil. That's about 1/3 of a cup. Put it in your bowl, and you're going to want to put your broccoli in here, or if you're using squash, you can also do this with asparagus, which is really good too. These vegetables, oh, you could use cauliflower too, really do pick up the flavors well, and they're really good because they, I mean, broccoli may be the one that has the most flavor to itself, but like squash and asparagus and the other ones I mentioned, they kind of pick up the wonderful flavors of your coating. Okay, I've got them all really well coated with the oil. You don't want to saturate it with the oil. And I've got a cookie sheet here that's got a foil on it, foil lined. And let me see here. We're going to put half of the broccoli in this bag, which is the Parmesan. And we're just going to kind of coat it like this. I like to mix it around so almost all of that coating gets all over your broccoli, because it's so good. All right, let that one sit right there. And this is our curry ginger. Got oil on my hands, so it's a little hard to open it. And we're just going to put the rest in here. Okay. And let's go ahead and toss this around. We get all that yummy curry. I also have one that I used before, and it's garlic and herb. That's a really good spice blend for this too. You know, and it's just something different. We love roasted vegetables. And it's a pretty healthy snack too. All right, let me get it open. All right, there we go. And you're just going to want to lay these out on your sheet here in a single layer. That way they'll get roasted. And like I said, they're not going to be super crispy, but they're going to be tasty. I've got it on 375. I haven't tried to put it a little bit higher, but maybe you could do it if you wanted a crispier snack. All right. All right, and here's the Parmesan. Boy, these smell good already. And we are going to roast them for 15 minutes. Okay, that's that. going to go ahead and put them in the oven 15 minutes on 375, and I will see you when we get back. Okay, here we are. They are all cooked and ready to go. I've got a little dish here that has a divider, so I thought that would be pretty good for these. These are the, whoops, the Parmesan. Maybe I need to get it with the, this will work better. I just took them out, so they haven't really rested. I probably should have rested them, but that's okay. I wanted to get this video done. Oh yeah, here they're coming off good. You can hear the sizzle. Yum. Wow. So these are the Parmesan right here. So let me get some of the curry and ginger. Oh yeah. Probably because that's cheese, it was sticking a little bit more. You get over on your side over there. Ooh, these smell yummy too. If you've never tasted curry before, curry powder, this is a really good way to do it. I love curry shrimp. I actually was introduced to curry when I was a teenager. We lived in South Korea. Dad had a job over there, and we went over there, and I graduated from high school in South Korea. But it wasn't because we were in Korea. It was because the people that lived on our compound, is what they called our area, is it was surrounded by walls, and this is 1970, mid-70s. I don't like to give out too much information on the internet, but anyway, we had mostly British people on our compound, and I learned about curry from then. Curried prawns, oh my gosh, curry, so good. I think it's really neat to be able to open up your life to different cultures and different food. Even though I do cook a lot of southern dishes, I love to be able to taste new things. Okay, there it is. Let me bring you a little bit closer here so you can see what I've got. It's really good. Okay, and I've got a little bit of my Greek yogurt. We make that every week. Willis and I love it. I do have a video in my playlist for making Greek yogurt with the Instapot. It's very easy, and if you have an Instapot, it's even easier. So let me go ahead and try one of these. This is the Parmesan garlic. So tender. Wow. Good, guys. It doesn't even need dipping sauce. But if you're somebody that likes to dip, Greek yogurt would be the best thing. Okay. Alright, let's go ahead and try one of the curry. Curry ginger. That one has a lot of curry on it. Oh, wow. And you can taste the ginger. Spicy and yummy. Well, I hope you guys will give this a try. This super easy recipe. I have another video coming up with a couple more broccoli recipes that I use with your broccoli harvest. I hope you'll check that one out too. And like, share, and subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. And thank you so much for watching. See you real soon. Bye.